Hi everybody, it's Jeff from VW Bricks here. I'm going to be recording a series of 6 videos over the next hour or so as I'm waiting for some stuff to happen. So this week I'm actually concentrating on my Brownstone buildings, which you'll notice above my head here. That one of them is missing right now. Anyways, right there. So as these videos continue, you'll see some of them disappear and reappear. So these brownstones were originally created back in 2017, around June. I started working on these, and I had expanded my city layout to include a park, and it was about sorry, just doing the math in my head, 4 or 5 base plates long in length. So I needed, on the other side of the road, I needed to have some buildings in place. So I decided to go with some brownstone buildings, which is a style of buildings that's found in some of the major cities in the U.S. and have been copied in other parts of the world. I'm not sure the origin of brownstones or anything, but it's just what I knew at that point. So I started looking for some real-world inspiration and came up with some pictures and then built some ideas of what I wanted out of that. So not the pictures or the buildings don't necessarily match the originals, but there's more of inspiration shots. So I'm just going to jump over to our other camera here, or our other screen share. So the first brownstone I built, it's a white and tan brownstone with a dark stone gray roof. And I've kind of modeled it off of this design here, which to me is a classic brownstone. You've got your curved front windows, standard door, I guess, but raised up high with some steps. So I didn't angle the steps like it's done here, but I used some similar design cues around the doors, and above some of the windows, not necessarily in the same spots, but I did some design cues. Oh, excuse me, sorry. It's fairly early in the morning on a Sunday. I'm doing some work-related stuff, but have an hour of time in between, so that's why I'm doing these now. So if I'm yawning, forgive me. Anyway, I will jump into the actual images. I didn't get a lot of images in my Flickr pages for these buildings, at least for some of them, just because I built them in such a small period of time. Like I said, I started this one June 6th. And we had a convention that we went to that year, which was Brickfest, Virginia. And I ended up setting myself a goal to have at least this segment of the layout done for Brickfest, because that's what I was going to, or Brick Fair, Virginia. That's what I was going to take with me. So the first shot here is just kind of the door area, and with a little bit of detail above the windows and around the door. Again, you can see that kind of detail around these doors, around the windows. Just trying to replicate the style. Obviously not exactly the same, but this was my first attempt at doing it. Also trying to get the big bow windows at the front, which I actually like how it came out, and I did a little bit of research or not research, but a little bit of discovery to make these windows work and be strong enough that they wouldn't crumble down. For this building, like I said, I used tan and white, and then I ended up doing a dark gray roof on it. So you'll notice when we do a little tour of the building that there's pretty much lines of tan all the way up the building. So I need to be able to reinforce it quite well. So that's why there was a bit of work involved around the window lines here on these bow windows to make everything sturdy. Let's jump into the next picture. So here we have just another shot. I've got some detail around the bottom. You can see we pulled it out. We've got the staircase in here, some tiling, a huge gap here. I don't know what that's from, but it's just kind of weird. Looks like there's 2 base plates there. Anyways. And you can see I'm building a couple of buildings at the same time, so there's a couple side by side. Anyway, let's go on to the next picture. And some comments in Flickr about some of the design combos. So I was trying to, like I said, replicate some sort of a sculptural design on the windows. So, and that's why this hole is here. I was working through that as well. So let's go to the next picture. And this is a mostly completed picture, missing some parts on here. I think these curved tiles had just come out, so I had limited amounts, so it was a bit of a calculation. So by here I've now got the second floor up. I'm just looking at the pictures originally. I've added some more detail up here that wasn't done in the roof. This was the first attempt of the roof, so I worked on that as well. So this is, again, all in the same day. And also taken on the same day, just a different shot. I've got a bit of a picket fence or a black fence, iron fence up here as we're doing this. And here is the mostly completed shot. You can see it's on my train line. It's only 24 studs long. That's the other thing I should mention. Most of all my brownstones are around a 24 stud floor size, like length, except for the two end units that are actually on 32 studded base plates, but they have sidewalks around the side as well, so that's why. But they are all 24, so narrower buildings, 24 studs long. I have the guardrails up here as well. I've got, like I said, the roof detail up here. The final model, I've actually got some more detail on top, but I never added that in here. And I don't actually have a picture of that, so we'll see that in the live shot in a minute that we do. The last shot I have is just the rear end of the building. And again, because I have big stripes of tan, I've carried it through on the back with a bunch of windows. I actually just added glass to these buildings today as I was doing these videos. And again, the roof detail isn't on here, but we'll show that in the last photo. I'm not going to show the other photos just because they're introducing other buildings as we go, so I'm not going to continue in this folder, but all of my buildings on Flickr are organized into different folders, so Brownstone 1 through 6. Just if you do want to see these pictures later, you can go into my Flickr folder with the username of, I think it's Jeff EW, but it's not popping up for me right now. Yeah, Jeff EW. Anyway, let's go over to the webcam, the build cam, and you can see the finished building here. Now, as you can see on the top, I'm just moving my chair around. On the top, I did add more of a detail on top. Like I said, I just put glass in these buildings today. I added some detail around the windows as well. You can see the door detail as well. And I've made this as well to be segmented. It's 3 layers. The second floor actually ends here. Sorry about that. The second floor actually ends at this height. The first segment ends at this height. The second floor starts in this section, and then the roof comes off. So pulling it off, it's just a fairly simple roof structure that Lego has done many times. I removed this tile here, or I don't have a tile here, and that's just because of this part. There's a tile on top to kind of hold this whole structure together. So I just kind of tiled it in different ways. It also keeps in this case, the roof doesn't slide around. And I also have, pull this one off too. And you notice when I pull this off, the floor levels are different here, and that's, again, for structure. I needed to hold this section in place. So there's a bit of a structure there to do that. And as you can see from the inside here, with discovering this, the 2x2 plates with single stud, using these 2x3 modified plates with the curved end, it gives a nice angle to go through. And this is back in the day when we didn't have these studded bricks in white, so I had to do gray throughout. I don't even know if they're available in white. And you can see some weird work that I've had to do on the back here, just to, like there's nothing underneath this brick. but it was just stuff I had to do to make this window solid enough and to be able to sit inside. On the back as well, like these windows are not very well secured. Um, they're just like these sections are just pretty loose. I did some structural stuff on the inside of this first level to kind of keep those together. Um, and like I said, the whole bottom piece of this is all attached, and it's enclosed in, and that's where I've got some more locking mechanisms inside of here. Actually, at about, just trying to figure out where they are. Just about this level here, there's a plate to lock it in. Anyway, let's take down the tree while we're doing this. And actually, I'll just leave the tree off for now. And we'll just look at the last level here. So again, you can see that same technique to hold the windows in. And it goes all the way down into the cellar, or the lowest part. This part, these two do not separate because I didn't really need to. There is a little access way there under the stairs. So the idea being that if there was a basement apartment or something, the access to that would be there. Because I know a lot of brownstones, well, maybe not a lot of brownstones, but many brownstones have lower levels that are accessible. The guardrails are fairly basic, I guess. There's not really a way to say it nicely. Like the cheese slopes don't quite line up as nice as I'd like, but I was trying to get like the iron fence. And back into the corner here, I'm not able to continue the fence there because these fence lines, which are positioned, or these fences which are sideways, are taking up that little bit of space there for that stud. And then just some detail, like I said, above the roof. So, so yeah, and then so the fence lines all line up between the buildings, and maybe I'll leave this one out and when I do the next video, and we can put them side by side or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. By the end of this, I'd like to have a whole video of the entire street with the park in front, but that's probably a little while away just because I need to set that all up, and I'm not really working on my town layout at the moment. So, and then from the back, again, like I said, there's the stripes all the way down. There is a bit of structure. I didn't actually show that. Just pull this guy off. Yeah. I had to do a little bit of structure inside just to give something to lock into. So these windows all the way down, well, at least from here to here, is basically not locked in together. They're not cross-locked with the white, but you know, it holds together for what it's doing. So, all right. I don't like that noise, but anyway. All right, so that's the end of this video here. So I will have a few more in this series, probably recording over the morning, but I am working as well at the same time, so I'm going to be doing these as I can through the morning. Hopefully finish them before I'm done working. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.